it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll find that life is still worthwhile. If you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you're listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show. And the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
As it is meant to be. So
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio by the people.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Monday edition of the Morning Show. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is the 23rd day of September 2024. The time now is at 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, and to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yes, he's going to be joining us exactly at 11 o'clock. And then HR Linda Palian all the way in Cyprus as well. Let me say good morning to you. I will be joining. She will also be joining us at 12 o'clock. Yeah. So it's a packed program, okay? But we're going to bring you everything from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As you see on this platform, it's making the headlines. Why not? Why not? We're going to be touching it. But let me say good morning also to until it's to all the hammers, to all the ladies, I salute each and every one of you. Bishop Adeshi Aziz Tosino, all the way in Moscow, especially massive good morning to you. Shamsuddin, good morning. Pastor Momo, good morning to you as well. And to as many of you who tune in each day to listen, Rachel Abuchali, good morning to you. As many of you who tune in each day, I want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Starr Radio UK Morning Show. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Okay, so by way of program outline, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, and that is known as global trotting. Yes. Okay. Global trotting, and then we'll move on from there. At 11 o'clock, have Mr. Olayomi Koiki coming in to bring you all the updates from Nigeria, the detailed ones. We'll touch on the headlines, but he's going to bring all the details. And then from this, we'll look at other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. And at a quarter to 12, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. 12 o'clock, we'll move on to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Palian will be, and then we'll bring you Career 101. Then after that, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen. So let's kick it off. Now, the quote for the day says, yesterday will repeat itself tomorrow if you continue making the same choices you made yesterday. So, a word to a wise is always enough. I don't have the time this morning to be going through all that with you, so just bear with me as we go on. Let's look at the weather. Now, when it comes to the weather front this morning here in London and the southern part of the UK, well, just bear with me. Let me get that for you. It's been raining. There are some weather warnings though. But this afternoon, any rain will clear and cloud will break up to reveal some sunny spells. But these will trigger a few showers. Tonight, The first part of the night, any clear spells will gradually be replaced by cloud building in from the west. Actually, rain will then develop in the early hours as well. Top temperature is going to be 18 degrees. The lowest is going to be 13 degrees. UV level is going to be low. Pollution is going to be low. Sunset 18:55 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 06:49 hours, and that brings us to the end of the weather forecast on your travels this morning as well. At 5 minutes to the top of the hour, as we are cracking on. Yes. For the underground this morning, Bakery line has got severe delays. Check it out. This line, part suspension and minor delays there as well. Metropolitan line, part suspension and severe delays. So check, please. Now, London Overground is also got part suspension. That aside, all the others are running a good service. DLR and London Tramley, good service there. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. On the major roads in London, I can tell you shortly, there are no delays there at all. So you can zoom through it like no man's business. The London River Bus, good service. The London Cable Car, good service. They're bringing us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. And as we say, keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads as we keep navigated our promise, our bond. So, on the National Rail this morning, cross country, I've got special service, Great Western Railway, special service, Island Line, special service, ScotRail, special service, Southwestern Railways, severe delays, and Southeastern, minor delays. So that brings us to the end of the travel updates. And let me say it or put it this way: good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be. This is Starr Radio UK, and we say enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads. A quick break, and we come back. We take you through the global trotting.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT.
So within the next 4 minutes, we'll count down. We'll join the Starr Radio for the update this morning, Monday the 23rd. So we're just on standby, and then we'll be joining them very, very soon. So good morning. Let's continue to listen to Archie while I am on standby.
And Oyo residents, AAC members, storm state secretariat to protest ongoing demolition of houses by Makinde's government. Now, I say it all the time, if the demolition is based on the fact that the houses are in water, raised and stuff like that, things like that, that is cool. But when it's not, and that because of political affiliation, because I belong to party A or I belong to tribe A and stuff, we want to go on to demolish it, then we have a problem there. Now, in other stories as well, if money is your sole measure of value, your poverty is incurable. Dele Farotimi is also saying there, and he goes on to say, I no longer engage in the time-wasting arguments over elections in Nigeria. It is not worth it. So how did you see the Edo elections? How do you see comparatively to what happened in the general election a year on? Edo decides, Buhari congratulates Okpebolo, okay, and then Vandal destroy TCN tower along 330 kilowatts volts Gombe Damaturu Maduguri Road, and Tinubu orders crackdown transitional car thieves. Apologies, transnational car thieves as EFCC handovers 53 stolen vehicles to Canada. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Lots more going to come your way from there. Nigerians late to gas party as inertia cost 30 billion. Now, you know, Nigeria exports gas to various countries. It exports gas to Ghana as well. Ghana buy lots of some of its gas from Nigeria. So I asked myself, why is Nigeria not utilizing that? Because they've got that West African gas pipeline there. But well, we'll tell you more about all that in a moment. But wherever you are, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, In the next few moments, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Rich saying no return to austerity after criticism for doom and gloom messages. And then,
all right, so let's join Archie so that we can crack on quickly. It's a lot to discuss, and there's a limited time as well. So good morning if you're new to this platform. So this is where we connect to my studio back Croydon as we prepare for the Star Radio Morning Show. So say good morning and welcome. So let's crack on. Let's see.
for us to bring you all the necessary updates from where? Nigeria, where we have our own Mr. Olayomi Koiki, somewhere in London. I'm not going to be telling you. He is always on the move, and he's somewhere in London this morning. And let me say, good morning to you, Yummy.
Well, good morning to you. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
We can hear you loud and clear. Don't you worry. We're going to be seeing you loud and clear too in the next few moments. But I know because we are pressed with time and you are very, very busy this morning, we'll just let us go on. Yes, so continue, sir.
Well, good morning. We have we have the ample time of the next 20-25 minutes, and then we can just take it as it is. You're quite right. I'm just approximately not too far away from the M25 this morning. I could tell you that as you've been reporting, the weather this morning, I actually left home very early as usual, and it was pouring. I've got my jacket at the back there, but I can tell you it has actually created the heavy traffic. I've picked up a bit of flood, going into the Porter's Bar this morning, but I can tell you right on the M25 at the service lane where we are parked, so that we can give the update, not just coming up from Nigeria, but also what is happening in the UK, because it looks like as the winter is getting closer, the weather is changing gradually. We thought we were still in summer, but you better have that jacket on. I've got my coffee on as well, and as always, you have been warned and told, if you're traveling a lot on the motorway, have that water in place. Make sure you have the jacket. I've seen the officers, pulling and bringing cars off to the, the service lane because they've actually break down. But it is Star Radio UK. It is the Monday edition, and it's been a fantastic weekend. I come bringing back to you, Mr. Archie.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Olayomi Koiki on the motorway somewhere. Yes, but hope it was a very good weekend.
Well, it was a fantastic weekend. As usual, we got to be grateful because, the weekend is when, we have a bit of relaxation. The sporting event was happening. And I also, went to say shout out to my mom. But it looks like each time I go there, the Tottenham is at home. And that means, there's money going on. The activities, especially the economy in the UK as well, is having a big impact on many people. So those businesses need that sporting activities. It was Anthony Joshua, even though a Nigerian, British Nigeria, let's put it that way, lost the boxing fight. And it looks like it was a fantastic weekend. And the Sunday, it's all about getting ready again for the school run and getting ready for some of the projects that we have in hand as well.
All right. Now, comparing the motorway that you are traveling on to, I remember back in the day when I visited Nigeria, I was saying that was the first time I saw like proper motorways in Africa, and I was like, wow. You look at the speed of development that was going on in Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria shouldn't be where it is now, as I'm saying. It shouldn't be there at all. It should have gone. But if you compare our roads and where you are this morning comparatively to the last time you visited Nigeria, and how the road infrastructure and everything is going on, how do you see it?
Well, 2.3 Nigerian road network. It has the largest road network in West Africa, but it has never had the good infrastructure to support it. What you tend to understand is, when we travel, on the road network, it's not just the motorway. We're talking about the B road, those B road that are still, drivable, motorable, even though as the weather is getting a little bit, funny this time around, you got to drive very, very carefully. And I can tell you, the RAC is just picking up, maybe dropping off or something right here. So it is important that the road network, in Nigeria should have been the best, but apparently, it has always been the same road network that has been built, during the, the Western region. I remember traveling to Iwokwe Paper Mill. Iwokwe Paper Mill is the first in Africa, number 3 in the world, but as usual, that project was completed, but nothing came out of it. But something that was unique about it is the road. As much as the road were all dilapidated, but to the edge of the road, you can still see the structure of what the road network was like during the Western region. But let's talk about the road network today in Nigeria. It is becoming unbearable. And since you talked about that, let me take you back to an headline that I've just picked up during the, the report coming from one of the news dailies in Nigeria last year, November. Nigeria road infrastructure remains decrypted. It looks like a big English there, but let's break it down quickly. A report on the quality of roads in African countries on Sunday confirmed that Nigeria dismal condition and reminder its leader of the need to act decisively to reverse its coating study. This was undertaken by the IMF, Business Inside Nigeria, a ranking showing Nigeria as having the 6th worst road infrastructure on the continent.
Wow. 6 worst road. Well, we'll have time to talk about it during the course of the week. We will have to come to what the president was trying to do, and a few challenges that were coming.
And those few challenges, as you mentioned, these challenges is President Bola Tinubu and the new Minister of Works, David Umahi. We remember that we had Roti Mechi that told Buhari, the former president, that the rail network, was meant to be protected. Terrorists attacked it. We lost Dr. Chinelo. We lost a couple of Nigerians. A lot of people have to pay ransom as well. But the need to quickly translate their repeated promises to transform the Nigerian roads into action. I could tell you from the way I've parked, lorries upon lorries moving goods, because as we know, logistics is one of the most important business in the world. And if you don't have the road network, your logistics will remain very, very unbearable, because moving things on the road when there is no good roads mean that lorries are spending hours. And that is why many Nigerians are dying of the fumes coming out of these vehicles, especially most of them are imported into the country after being used for a very long time from other part of the world.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London at exactly 7 minutes past 11. Miss Olayomi Koiki in London, yes, on the M25 somewhere. And I'm Archie here, and I'm not saying that he's driving and he's showing his face like that. No, he's parked at a service station, and that's why we are having the conversation. All right then. Okay, so now let's come to some of the substantive issue that's going on in Nigeria. They do elections. Now, how bad was it for Governor Refinery to say that he whips for Nigeria? Yomi?
Well, you would expect that maybe there will be some kind of changes, especially after the first year of the government of APC of Tinubu, that maybe, just maybe, they will be losing that election. But it's the other way around. And it seems that many Nigerians, whether through hooks or crimes, but it seems that the politicians, it's always about do or die when it comes to election in Africa. So, as the election result has now been declared by INEC, APC Okpabo Hulu, is the winner of Edo election. A video has surfaced that the president promised to take back Edo for them. But it looks like many Nigerians are reacting, and not just Nigerians that are reacting, even the governors from the PDP. You just spoke about, Dele Momodu talking about, the election itself. There's a lot of reaction. I'll be telling you those reactions in just about a few minutes. But what I can tell you, that it seems, as usual, this election has not gone as it's meant to be. And even though the presidency is calling it a victory, but a governor says, I weep for Nigerian democracy. This is coming from Governor Fintiri, condemns the Edo election as much as INEC has declared the winner. He's from, is the governor I'm trying to pick out which of the state. On Saturday, the INEC declared, Monday, Okpabo as the candidate. But it seems that Fintiri, in a statement, said the whip for Nigerian democracy, describing the exercise as shameful, and not just shameful alone. It looks like, these governors and many Nigerians are truly not satisfied with the outcome of the result. This blatant disregard for democratic norms is the real brigandage. Nigerians are outraged, slamming INEC for compromising and favoring APC. Even Davido, one of the biggest artists in the world, complained about INEC as being the worst institution that we ever have in Nigeria.
Interesting. Now, has the INEC boss been changed since the president came in, or they still kept him?
Well, I don't think the president wants to change him now, since he has done the bidding and the offer, as a lot of people are suggesting that is what played out during the election last year. Yakubu Mahmoud is still the INEC chairman, even though there was quite a lot of prayers that maybe the prayers could not take him out. It looks like Tinubu is still holding the card on the INEC chairman this morning.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK. What do you think about the election results in Nigeria? Feel free and just get in touch with us, and we will do so. Okay. And all your residents, AAC members, storm state secretariat to protest ongoing demolition of houses by Makinde's government. Now, interestingly, I mean, in Africa, it's not only Africa, in other parts of the world, somebody comes in, and if it's his party, he protects the people in this party. So you might have done something, but but when somebody doesn't like you, they start destroying your properties, destroying. And so is that what has gone on in Oyo?
The first thing is that these illegal, things have been built, because we've seen a lot of demolition going on in Lagos. They complain that the reason for that is, is disturbing the waterways. A lot of people disagree with it. We've seen shanties, being breaking into pieces. As I was complaining yesterday as well, I said, the Jakonde era, we're building, affordable homes to people, as many Nigerians are moving into, Lagos State to survive, because, Lagos people wants to survive, but not realizing how expensive it is. And a lot of people end up into a drastic situation where they cannot afford a very good accommodation. But we are not talking about Lagos now. We're talking about Oyo State. Oyo State, as you said there, the members of the AAC, which is Shore's political party, have now stormed the state secretariat to protest on the ongoing of houses by Makinde. What could be the reason? I've not seen any report coming from the Oyo State government, as we speak right now. But from what they are saying, residents and render thousands of them homeless due to this demolition. Thousands of the victims of the ongoing demolition exercise by Oyo State government under the leadership of Seyi Makinde, together with the leaders and the members of the African Action Congress, are currently holding what we call a massive protest in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. According to the report, learned that the victims and the AAC took the step to force the government to stop the demolition exercise, which has reportedly killed dozens of residents and rendered thousands of them homeless. The question is, are these the legal structure, or is this just somebody interested in the land, and that means the government is moving in just to take people out? Because that has always been the issue. When the government needs the land, they come in with all kind of tricks and say these are illegal structure. Whoever was given the the certificate before the legal structure was built, the question then is, will the people be returned back, or will they be given a place? And when it comes to government in Nigeria, especially with land dispute, you can be rest assured that protests will not end up to anything. Even taking them to court will be a long fight.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting one. But if you have gone to the country, town and country, town and city planning, and they've given you a permit to put up a structure there, and you end up now that they are destroying your structure, then what do you do? Who do you go to seek redress from? That is the issue. But listeners, Starr Radio UK. Now let's go on to some of the other stories. Now, Nigerian prison officials sneak inmates convicted of rape out of a boarding facility, accompanying him to have sex at lover's place. Now, this person is living his life like he has not been incarcerated at all. You know what I mean? If it is part of the world, I bet by this time heads are rolling. It's already rolled. But we see it here. Tell us more.
Well, there's nothing shocking out of Nigeria to some of us anymore. The question is, what can be done, to rectify the damage. That is why, a lot of, the campaigners, for the dissolution of Nigeria, so that we can be able to look into matters that are arising. As you're talking about the sex, we've the last 72 hours, the UK media have been talking about, the atrocity committed by, Al Fayed, the former owner of Arrows, and, what he has done. But it seems that in Nigeria, maybe with your little bit of money, you can buy whatever you want to buy. And as you said it exactly in the headline, according to the source, in a facility in Ubuchi, the inmate was sentenced to prison after he was convicted of rape. You would expect that that should be where he used to be, or that is where he's meant to be. But apparently, officials of the Afikpo Correlation Center in Ebonyi State have now taken him out to have more sex with people, maybe the sex, broker or the prostitute. But it looks like what we heard, that they took that inmate out of the facility illegally, not just for the prostitute, but apparently to see his girlfriend for a conjugal visit. But again, as you might tell, if you're visiting a prisoner in the UK, you will not be allowed to have a spare room where you can have the rumpy.
Wow, it's interesting, Africa. But what are the victims taken now? Those the victim or the victims of this sexual assault that has resulted in this person being incarcerated. Let's know what you think, and the officials there as well. It is Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, not landed in London. My apologies, and I'm here in the Starr Radio UK studios. So we'll go to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds there. Over to you, Yomi, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Once again, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Your victory is a call to service. Tinubu is telling, the Edo State, governor, while Obaseki is appealing for calm. Obaseki is the PDP, while Tinubu is already congratulating, for the APC. PDP governor tells INEC to respect the people's wish, but the people's wish have already been announced. The question is, can the INEC reverse this, or it will again end up to be part of another struggle going into the the Supreme Court and the judicial system that a lot of Nigerians do not even believe. It seems that we love to talk about business on this platform, and the reason for that is there's a lot of businesses that are struggling at this very difficult time in Nigeria, especially as the economy continues to drain. As much as the president was telling us that the Coca-Cola are planning to invest $1 billion in the Nigerian economy, the question is, many Nigerians will be waiting, to see when actually all this is going to materialize. But like, Rwani was saying, one of the, the economic committee of the new government, even though he was a critic of the government, but it seems that anybody that is a critic has turned around, to become the lover of the government. Rwani, in economics, told us that by 2026, the Nigerian economy will be seeing about $400 billion and will be one of the top in the sub-Saharan African as well. So this morning, the tariff hike looms as the monthly power subsidy hit 18 billion naira. MPC may lower interest rate tomorrow. Again, building collapse. Claim 1,574 lives in the 50 years. We've seen a lot of buildings that have been collapsing, and the question is, what can be done to protect many Nigerians, whether you are the one building or you are just the one that are renting some of this as well. So let's go straight to more other headline before we go on to what is happening on the social media this morning. Once again, you're still enjoying the Starr Radio UK. Nigerian EFCC warns comedian and skit maker against unauthorized use of his uniforms, orders for entertainment. And again, as much as it seems that the content creators are making money, but they are also making the hell of abuse of especially the elderly, the widows, and the children. There was a particular one I was watching this morning, And in the Yoruba language, the young man was saying over the phone that I've just seen 4 elderly women that I would like to, I don't want to use the word, the English word here, but I'll just say that I'm going to take their, life. Eventually, the elderly could hear him on the phone, and you could see how they fled out of the seat, and one of them were falling over. And you could tell that when an elderly person got injured, especially in a system that is no good medical facility, it will take time for the bone to heal, even if the bone is going to heal. So we are appealing not just to uniform, but also to those content creators in Nigeria to be very careful of the kind of content that they are producing, especially with the elderly. The EFCC, in a statement on Monday today, noted that an old video codenamed EFCC and the Army Wahala is regaining traction across the social media, and they are now asking comedians and skit makers to desist from using his operational accoutrement in any of their videos. That is coming as well. Adopted students and staff of University of Nigeria Federal University have now regained freedom after 7 months. I was explaining to my listeners yesterday during one of my broadcasts that a New Zealand pilot that flew into Papua New Guinea was detained by the liberation rebel, and it took 19 months, for negotiation, but he was eventually free. The question is, why is it taking the federal government of Nigeria to get people to be free as quickly as possible? But it looks like these adopted student of the staff of Nigerian Federal University, Gwazu, have now regained freedom after 7 months. This was actually disclosed in a series of tweets on Monday morning by the counter-insurgency expert in the Lake Chad area of Zangazalo Mahlama. At least 15 of the students and the staff members of the Federal University, Gwazu, in Zamfara State, have regained their freedom from the captivity after being held by the group of terrorists who kidnapped them 7 months ago. So I'm going to take one more, move straight to the social media, then come back again to you as we wind this down in just about a few minutes. A 21-year-old scavenger arrested in Bauchi for vandalizing gravels to steal iron rods for food and marijuana. A lot of these are going on not just only in that part of the state, but also in Lagos State, as many individuals are going around removing metal that are meant to protect the road network and converting them to goods stolen from the government, and also you have buying marijuana and because of hunger. So it looks like Nigeria is a very desperate situation right now. The last one from the news before we go to social media is coming from Femi Falana, an activist, also a senior advocate of Nigeria. To mere Technimont disclosed that Port Harcourt Refinery completion date within 7 days, or the federal government will be facing illegal action. In a letter addressed to the managing director of the Mere Technimont SPA, the company handling the project, Femi Falana, referenced the $1.5 billion contract awarded by the federal government of Nigeria for the overhaul of the refineries. The senior advocate of Nigeria and a human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, has officially requested information regarding the completion date for the long overdue rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery. We're talking about $1.5 billion that the federal government has paid. He has now said, if nothing is done, his company, Falana Chamber, which I have the letter here dated the 17th of September, the managing director, Mema Techmont SP, requests for information on when the completion date of the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery. I, Femi Falana, a Nigerian lawyer and the chair of the Alliance in Surviving COVID-19 Beyond, a non-governmental government organization in Nigeria, I have confirmed that the federal government of Nigeria awarded a contract for rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery to your reputable company to the sum of $1.5 billion, in line with the terms of the contract, which was awarded sometimes in April 2021. The project is expected to complete in 3 phases, 18, 24, and 44 months. It was therefore become necessary to request to the management of the company to furnish me with information on the completion of the date. As this request is made under the Freedom of Information Act, inapplicable, you have 7 days. Well, I'll wait to see if that 7 days will be respected by this company, because we know freedom of information in Nigeria is not as easy as receiving or retrieving rather when it comes to the UK government. Let's go straight to the social media before I come to you, Mr. Archie. According to Simon Ekpa, the PM government in exile of the Biafra government in exile, Biafra government self-referendum voting in Edo versus the Nigerian terrorist government election in Edo, with some videos of how rigging, manipulation continue to go on. And it's coming also from a headline from the channel's television says, INEC declaration of Okubo does not reflect the will of the people. So Simon Ekpa is actually comparing how they've been able to do their referendum without anybody being hurt. Also, as I speak to you this morning, at Ile-Ife, the Yoruba National Day is already ongoing, and the theme and the symposium for the day is 136 years of the Kiriji War, a lot of war that was fought among different Yorubas, and as things become settled, it has now become every year the celebration, culture, and food, whether you're from Ekiti State, Kwara, Kogi, Ondo, or Lagos, or your state, coming together to celebrate it. Not just that alone, also to celebrate to also discuss the 201-year invasion of the Fulanis into the territory. So a lot of reaction is going on right now with the election in Edo State. But like I said, there's so many other engagement on the social media this morning, as a lot is happening in Nigeria. But like I said, from what Dele Farotimi said, you told us earlier, if money is your sole measure of value, your poverty is actually incurable.
That is a statement that I wanted to ponder over all the day as you're going through the day. But listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 26 minutes past 11. Let me say thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. But Yomi, before you leave us now, what activities were planned over the weekend for the Yoruba nation here or worldwide, and how is the preparation for the 1 million march for October and the dinner night preparation? How is it all going for our listeners to appreciate that?
Well, we had Dr. Chief Sunday Gbowo, had a engagement on the TikTok with over 100,000 viewers, and not just engagement, because we've now realized that a lot of people continue to open all kind of platform calling it Igbowo, and it looks like it has become a money venture as a branded name. So he actually had to open an official one, and he was also donating to 40 people at average of 5,000 naira just to buy data at a very difficult time in Nigeria. He'll be doing a little bit more with over 100. The wife also will be doing more towards his birthday, and also that will be on Rockbo on TikTok. But what you asked is about the dinner. Engagement continue, but as we say, life continue, but we will also remember the dead. Barrister evangelist Dr. Janet Fashakin that died will be buried almost the same day and same time as, not the same time because we're different time zone in New York and UK, but on the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th, she will be buried in New York according to her wish, not to be taken back to Nigeria. So we pray for the family. I spoke to Professor Adebanji Akintoye this morning, and as usual, the reason why media is important in anything is to enlighten, educate, and information to the members of the public. So we hope that maybe before the end of the week we might have Professor Banji Akintoye speaking to us on this platform, just as many people would love to know where we are when it comes to the movement. But yesterday he actually said something that hit, that the amalgamation, no Yoruba, no Igbo, no Hausa were allowed to pen the signatory of the amalgamation. It was an amalgamation of the colonial rulers in the north, and also those supporting, those managing the colony in Lagos that did that. Yes, we had the president of the Obas from the Yoruba, but they were not allowed to pen anything. And since the amalgamation expired almost 10 years ago, it is what continue to say, self-determination is an inalienable right, and you must allow that right to be respected. Even though Tinubu will not be traveling, the president, to the United Nations General Assembly, rather Shaitima will be going. That has become suspicious. Is there something about to happen in Nigeria, or is it his health reason? Even Buhari, that we were a little bit concerned, did all the United Nations General Assembly up to the last one, even asking the General Assembly to support the state nation of Palestinian as against the Biafra.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, quite an interesting development from there. But you know what? We have to let Yomi go, and then tomorrow, God willing, if he's free during the time of the program, he's going to bring your way. But you know what? You have to follow him also on the Koikimedia, where he brings you all the things that you need to know pertaining to Nigeria and especially the Yoruba nation there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK. Yomi, before you go.
Well, stay tuned as like Archie said, there's a lot of other programs coming up. Line up, not just for today, for throughout the week. Remember to follow the platform, subscribe. But the most important thing is, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. My name is Olayomi Koiki, reporting via the M25, the service station where we are reporting this morning. And I'll be back again, like Archie said, God willing, tomorrow for another update from Nigeria. Have a very good morning and bye for now.
Bye-bye. All right, then, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Quite an interesting one, but you can still keep your reaction coming through on all the platforms.
Wow, this one has been the other way around. It might be it's been facing the other side. It might be. Well, that is about it this morning. We just thought that we'd let you know what is happening with the news update from the Starr Radio. I got to keep moving now because time is very, very pressed, and I still got a few more areas to drive through as we continue our other project as well. My name is Olayomi Koiki. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good morning. God bless Yoruba Nation. God bless Biafra, and we will exit Nigeria, whether they like it or not, by fire, by force. Bye for now.